and welcome to Eco's Diary. Of course, you're right in time to learn more about matters environment, climate change, even as we try as much as we can to help in providing solutions to climate change. Of course, today our focus of discussion is on matters youth and climate change, just looking at how young people can be involved or can help in the fight against climate change. My name is Aida Munzatsi. Remember, we are also coming to you live. That's on Facebook and YouTube at CAC TV Kenya. And now on show today, I'm being joined by one Emily Omudo. Emily, karibu sana. Right, definitely. We look forward to your insights as far as today's conversation is concerned. Now just feel free to introduce yourself to our audience.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Emily Omudo. I work with the Kenya Community Development Foundation as a team lead for livelihoods, environment, and natural resource management. Kenya Community Development Foundation is a public community foundation that works with different community organizations to create and support sustainable development. We believe that development is more long-lasting when communities sit at the driver's seat, and so we invest and encourage homegrown solutions to different development issues. So today we talk about issues of environment because at KCDF we have different thematic areas that we work around, including education, livelihoods, community philanthropy and voice, as well as institutional strengthening. So environment is one key area that we have interventions around, and our main aim is to really ensure that communities are able to be involved practically and take leadership in terms of management of natural resources.
All right, and of course, as you talk of the community, the young people are part of the communities, and this just brings us now to the topic of discussion today, even as we look at how young people can help in the fight against climate change. Of course, when we are looking at climate change, it affects everyone, not just the youths. So let us just look at what potential can you say the youths do have in terms of just helping in combating climate change.
Young people are energetic. Young people are creative. Young people of this generation are very confident. So they have a lot of opportunities that they can use to be able to really engage in climate change mitigation. And the same young people are going to be affected more by the consequences in the near future. So really involving them at this point is very key. Because of their creativity, they have a lot of ideas, they have a lot of innovations, and they are able to really craft out solutions for the different environmental issues. And as such, they have a lot of space, and what they need is being able to really have platform, have support from different partners, and have their capacity really enhanced for them to be able to implement their thoughts.
All right, and just talking of how young people, of course, will be affected in future with the climate crisis that the world is facing. Of course, it doesn't mean that they are not being affected now. All right, how would you say in future youths or the younger generation will be affected by climate change?
Wow, the global crisis, this climate change is a global crisis, and every day we are seeing different things coming from drought, from carbon increasing, from issues of agriculture. We are not able to produce enough food, and if this trend continues, we need food, nutritious food. We need to be able to go about our daily activities in favorable climatic conditions. If you look at Africa, generally we are favored in terms of the kind of weather that we have. If we are not able to maintain this weather, and we will be dealing with a lot of heat in the future, then it will be very difficult to go about the daily activities. in terms of our development and infrastructure, if we don't have what will support us to be able to stay outside in the natural environment, it will be very difficult to go about the daily activities. Okay? If food production will continue at this rate where we are having a lot of failed seasons, then we will have a lot of issues in terms of getting nutritious food and health issues and children going to school because they are not healthy enough. If waste management is not really taken care of, if we don't find solutions for the same, you can imagine our urban spaces, how they will be in the very near future. Okay? If the solutions that are coming in place, the agricultural solutions, are not able to address the issues that we have, and we continue practicing the same traditional methods of agriculture, then we have a difficulty in this near future. Looking at agriculture as one of the economic spaces that really give a lot of income and employment to young people. If we want to enhance our manufacturing spaces, our production spaces, agriculture has to do well. For these young people to be able to really enhance or for example, address the issues of tree cover. If we don't take action today, they will really have challenges tomorrow because of lack of rains, because of too much sun and all that stuff.
Right. And would you say, of course, you've interacted so much with the communities, the young people being involved as well. Would you say currently the young people are taking part in helping with the climate change mitigation?
The young people are doing something. They are doing a lot. Let's start with schools. So, for example, at KCDF, we are implementing an environmental conservation in partnership and funded by I&M Foundation. With this, we work in 2 counties of Kilifi and Narok, where we are working with schools. We have partnered with a total of 150 schools to really engage in issues of environmental conservation. And as such, the young people are really coming up in terms of when they get to the awareness sessions, you are really seeing excitement in terms of engaging in these activities. When they are able to see what they have, for example, in tree planting, what they have planted take shape and is able to grow, and amidst the challenges that they have of drought and animals, they are really motivated to get into that. The catch is around the awareness and the attitude that once that is enhanced and there is peer pressure among them, they are really able to come up. And this is seen across from the school-going young people as well as those who are out of school. And they have a lot of creative ideas. Of course, in the communities we've had complaints, especially even with older people, feeling that the young people are not really engaged in environmental conservation, but the young people say, the ideas that we have are different from the ideas that you are implementing. They want to be involved in the ways that respond to who they are, in ideas that really resonate with them. Okay, so how they are involved in this whole process really matters for them to be part of it, to take ownership and to be able to run with it.
All right, just talking of course, the creative ways and their generational way of conserving the environment, let me say, how would you say, or what are just some of the examples that the young people can be involved in to help fight against climate change?
Okay. Involving young people can be in various ways. The young people would be very key in terms of creating awareness, because they can create awareness not in just the traditional ways. They come up with different innovative ways of sharing information around environment conservation. They also are very much in the internet and use of technology. So they are having various ways in which they can do awareness creation without the limitation of space and time, and so they are able to reach very many audience through TikTok, through the other social medias. Okay. Again, young people can be involved in terms of advocacy for environmental conservation because of the same reasons that they have voice. They are able to mobilize masses in terms of mobilizing support. They are also, having gone to school, a number of them are well aware, well informed, and have access to information in terms of how they can also engage duty bearers. So as such, they will be able to do that. Because of their creativity, young people are very instrumental in terms of coming up with creative ideas to the issues that we are having. So giving them space to create and to implement will be a very important way of involving them. And for them to really be able to share their creativity and their innovative ideas, they need to be empowered in that their capacity needs to be enhanced in terms of where do I get what kind of information? Where do I get people to support me? How do I mobilize and organize the small groups that we are in such a way that we are able to attract support, in such a way that we are able to be trusted and be supported by funders and corporate partners. And KCDF is keen in terms of building capacity of also upcoming organizations. And we are looking at youth organizations as well as youth serving organizations. So how do we enable them to be able to share their ideas with the world and be able to prepare themselves to get support and benefit from the opportunities that are there? Because as much as they can be creative, they can have solutions, unless they're able to partner and work with other like-minded corporations and individuals, then their creativity remains limited and they may get discouraged, or the great ideas just go down to waste. And so I would look at those four ways of really having the youth be involved.
Right, and even as we talk of the youth, as we talk of the great ideas, as we talk of the creativity, how would you say, or how would you advise the youth so that the ideas that they are coming with, they are actually coming to solve a problem, and they are also sustainable ideas and not necessarily short-term ideas?
My advice to the youth is to be true to themselves, and in that way they are able to do what they like doing. Okay, so if I get involved in what I like doing, if I make what I like doing my daily activities, I'm able to make income out of it, I'm able to really take advantage of the passion. So how do they integrate environmental conservation in their daily life? How do they make it something that they are able to earn a living out of? Again, it's difficult to work as an individual. So how can the youth get mobilized? How do you bring on board the different youth who have like ideas, so that you're able to consolidate your ideas, you're able to consolidate your efforts in terms of seeking for support and also sharing in terms of the ideas that you have. So being really mobilized and getting organized. Kenya has structures that allow groups to get organized, so that you are legally registered. You have structures to be able to manage and run your governance. You are able to have the right documentation, so that you're also let me call it maybe investor ready, or you are able to attract partners to come to you because you are prepared, because you are organized. But if you are moving as an individual and working alone, you may only go as far. But when you are able to work with others, your efforts have chances of running sustainably into the future, because then you're able to mobilize more people into the vision of what you want to do. Yeah.
Right, great. And now I'll just take you back a little bit when it comes to the age of these young people that you are talking of. You gave an example of, let me say, a grade 4 child. As we are talking of a young people, which age group would you say we are targeting? And as much as, I mean, with climate change, with the complicated word, with the scientific words, how do we ensure that, first of all, these young people actually understand over these effects that climate change comes with? They actually understand, let me talk of things like carbon credit and everything, they actually understand the concepts, so that as they come with their ideas, the ideas are actually coming to, let me say, to be sustainable, just as I said earlier on.
We are lucky that our education system has component of environmental education. And so children are able to learn about environment from as early as, I think, grade 3. But before then, they come from homes, they are in school, they complain about the hot sun, they complain about too much rain that bar them from reaching school and such like stuff. So these conversations don't need to wait for a certain age. They are conversations that need to be household engagements. They need to be ongoing conversations. Of course, at a certain age, they are able to take different actions, but as simple as knowing where to throw dustbin, I mean, knowing where to throw your waste, as simple as really ensuring that you can use plastic more than once, you know, are conversations that young people can be involved in from as early as possible. And we have seen situations where young people as early as also that grade 4, being able to take up actions that are towards environmental awareness or planting trees. And if they are able to do that at that young age, then they are able to keep up with it, and they are able to think about it and make it a habit and a culture that they would run with and their generations to come. So in terms of really looking at age, it should be as early as the person can understand information. And of course, with this in our education program, it means then it is age appropriate, and in schools the young people are able to have these conversations appropriately as they progress into the different levels.
All right, and I agree with you on that. I believe just more awareness creation can be created on matters of climate change, and also bringing the impacts and the effects at, can I say, at the community level, and just explaining to this child that probably the hot sun that you're feeling is because you threw a plastic bottle somewhere, and just such conversations. Of course, earlier on you mentioned of, let me say, the younger people complaining of this other generation not necessarily understanding them, or just using ways that are not relative to them. What are some other challenges that you will say young people face, or things that are a hindrance to them in terms of just coming up with solutions to climate change?
I would talk about challenges around agriculture, where young people have felt left out in terms of being engaged in the production or owning some of the assets, I mean, some of the materials that would enable them to productively engage in agriculture. The other challenges would be around resources. They would have many ideas, but in terms of really taking these ideas to pilot them or even to implement them, they get limitations in terms of access to resources. Again, young people, like I mentioned, if they are not organized, they can only do as much. And so without being organized, and you see youth are very mobile, so even them getting organized and staying sustainably in an organization has a limitation in terms of how much they can do in terms of impact. However, there are youth that have still been able, amidst the challenges that they have, been able to do much and engage in environmental conservation in different ways. We have seen one of our environment champions, known as Elizabeth Wathuti, who has done different innovations, and one of her flagship program around greening the urban areas has really done well as a young person. So these are some of the impacts that we need to share and give hope to the young people to see that they are able to do much. They just need to find their space and be confident and have people to hold their hands.
All right. Earlier on you spoke of changing attitudes, and how do you change probably the attitudes of young people? I'll just give an example of the garbage collectors in our estates. I'll also give another example of how young people view agriculture, of course, as the old people activity, or the activity that probably makes one dirty. Let me just use that as an example. So how do you change the attitudes of these young people? Because I want to view this as a challenge as well. So how do you change their attitudes so that they are embracing this and they're just not seeing the negative bit of this?
Change comes from within. So for me, changing the attitude of young people is just working with them to do that. Because unless they are able to appreciate what you want them to change, they will never change. So engaging them, involving them in the thinking, involving them in seeing the challenge, so that you might be looking at it as a challenge and they are not seeing the challenge. So how do you get to see it from their point of view, so that they are able to, together with you, understand and together with you come up with ideas that would help them appreciate. And so we could be thinking, or we could be feeling that they are not involved in agriculture because they consider it dirty. But when you engage with them, they would like to be involved in agriculture differently. They would like probably to be at the level of aggregation of the products. They would like to be, for example, at the level of value addition. So it is about them. And for them to change their attitude, they have to be part of the conversation from the lowest level of ideation.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Emily. Right now we'll just be taking a very short break. Of course, when we come back, we'll just be talking about this challenge, or environmentalist innovative challenge that KCDF, that is a Kenya Community Development Foundation, has come up with, just to ensure that they are looping and bringing in young people as far as finding solutions to climate change is concerned. So we take a very short break. Of course, when we come back, we'll just be focusing on that as much as other solutions.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership, only on KAK TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
Iguru iguru rigirohingukira umuthi maundu maria mothe mahingikite mangirohinguka in the mighty name of Jesus. Nĩ tondũ wa ũmũndũ tũkoraga nĩ twaga kũhingia na koguo tũgakora maũndũ maitũ nĩ ma-stagnate. Jehova Ngai, we uproot kĩrĩa gĩothe ũtahandĩte. Kĩrĩkanĩro kĩrauga thĩinĩ wa Mathayo 15 atĩ kĩrĩa gĩothe ũtahandĩte nĩ gĩkamunyũrwo.
All right, welcome back to Equals Diary. Tonight, we are looking at how young people can help fight climate change. And of course, in studio, I'm still with Emily Omudo from KCDF, that is a Kenya Community Development Foundation, just helping us, of course, share insight on tonight's conversation. Of course, as I mentioned before the break, we will just be looking at an initiative by the foundation on matters to do with a young environmentalist innovative challenge. I said it right?
Yes.
All right, so maybe you can just tell us what exactly this challenge is about and who it targets.
Very well. So coming back to earlier about KCDF engaging in different thematic areas and environment being one of the key areas of intervention that we work in. We received a philanthropic gift from Mackenzie Scott, and one of the ways in which we want to invest and use this money is to create change in environment. Young Environmentalist Innovative Challenge is the first series of KCDF challenge going into inviting ideas and solutions towards environmental conservation, natural resource management, and community engagement. So this challenge will be calling for ideas and solutions from young people and from young youth-serving organizations to provide solutions that have ability to enhance livelihoods, access to education, while ensuring community engagement. So this innovative challenge has 3 main objectives. One of them is to inculcate the culture of young people to be engaged in conservation of the environment. And so we are looking at what ideas and what solutions are out there that will really ensure that from a young age, citizens of Kenya are growing up while engaging in the conservation of environment. We are also looking at the other objective of really being able to fund ideas and innovations of young people. We realize and appreciate that young people in Kenya and across the globe have creative ideas to the many problems that the world is facing. So we are looking at getting ideas that would enhance people's way of meeting their daily needs, that would ensure children go to school, that would ensure community is in the forefront of conserving the environment. So we are looking at funding some of these innovations, the winning ideas that would come in. Besides just funding, we are looking at building capacity of these young people and the youth-serving organizations to be able to do more, to be able to innovate more, to be able to engage with different partners in a wider scale, to be able to implement their innovations in a way that would have a long-lasting impact in the vulnerable communities and also in the larger community, with the main aim of really seeing that sustainably we can continue to exist on this space. Yeah.
All right, so will it be a competition, like a competition among the young people?
Yes. So this will be a competition and the best idea will be awarded. So we are looking at awards in two different categories. We have awards in the individual young category, and this is a category of young people in tertiary level of education between the ages of 18 and 25 years, and looking at the different ideas that they could have as individuals to be able to conserve environment. And the second category is that of groups, those who are organized. So it could be youth groups or it could be organizations that are youth serving, that are also able to come up with ideas that will conserve the environment. The catch is have impact in livelihoods, enhance access to education, and have a strong component of engaging the community. Yeah.
All right, and how would you say this particular challenge is going to help in the fight against climate change?
Like we were saying earlier, young people have different ideas to solve these issues, and they are going to be most affected by the consequences of this. So we are saying if we are able to fund these ideas, we know that we will be able to respond to the challenges. We will be able to mitigate. We will be able to contribute to managing the shocks and the challenges that come as a result of climate change. As such, we are seeing that we are able to contribute to really creating change in terms of the environment we live in. We are also looking at this challenge as having a potential to bring on board different partners who we may have capacity to a certain level in terms of being able to fund up to a certain number of ideas. But I am sure there will be very many ideas coming on board. So this will also be an opportunity to give space to other development partners, to corporates and individuals who can also deepen the work of environmental conservation by funding the other ideas that we may not be able to really put money towards. At the end of the day, we are looking at solutions that will be more participatory, that will be more engaging in terms of the most affected people, the community and the young people. And we are looking at solutions that will seem as natural as possible and be integrated in the way of life of people. Because we are looking at the future and not just now. Yeah.
All right, and you'll be launching the event. Maybe you can just let our audience know when exactly you'll be launching and when will the competition begin?
Yes, so we are launching the call, the challenge on 6th of July. That is this Thursday, the day after tomorrow. And the call will be open. We'll have all the information on our website. We'll be sharing a lot of information on our social media on how you can come in and send in your application. The application will be open until the 3rd of August. Thereafter, we will engage in a very open and competitive selection process. And this will not be only done within KCDF. We are having other partners, other organizations that have been very involved and have experience in terms of running similar challenges to really ensure that the best idea wins. So we are having on board, we are working with the Ministry of Education, that is through the NACONEC. We are working with NetFund, and we are working with the Green Generation Initiative to really ensure that we are able to look at these innovations, not from only internal angle of KCDF, but also bring on board people in the sector of education, people in the sector of livelihoods, people in the sector of environment, and most importantly, people with experience of running challenges. Yeah.
All right. And earlier on you spoke of partners. Of course, are you maybe thinking of bringing in the government, just talking of the national government, with the fact that, of course, the president has been seen to be quite a champion of environmental conservation?
Yes. What we are already doing, we are already partnering with the government in the different ways. We have NetFund, which is a government arm, and we have NACONEC, that is also a government arm in the Ministry of Education. And so for us, the government is very key, because even in terms of us being able to succeed, we have to work hand in hand with the government. If you look at even the current environmental project that we are running, the one that is really working on tree growing, the directive and the direction that the government has taken in terms of greening the nation to 30% has been very supportive and helpful. And so even at the grassroots level, we are working closely with the lowest level of administration, including the village elders, the chiefs, the county commissioners. So we are able to really work together. So government for us is very key in terms of ensuring we are aligned and we are supporting to meet the desires of this government at the end of the day, that we have sustainable environment.
Right. Thank you for that, and thank you for, of course, sharing with our audience. I'm sure there is a young person outside there who will be part of that. Now, as we wind up, let us just let me take you just back to our conversation today, even as we give maybe a parting shot of the same.
Yes.
What is the importance of looping in young people to providing solutions, even as you, just the way you've mentioned the competition that you'll be having? What is the importance of looping in young people to these particular activities?
I will have this response in terms of why it is important to loop in the young people. Like I said, the consequences are really glaring at them, and they are very energetic. They have a lot of opportunities. They have a lot of solutions and a lot of ideas. All they need is the space and opportunity to be able to be the young people that they are and to be part of this solution. So for us, really, working with the young people is looking at the future, looking at enabling a young person to be a more responsible citizen, enabling a young person to think of themselves not only today, but think futuristic. Involving the young people means that we are investing in their capacity to learn, to make mistakes, to relearn, and to be able to perfect what they can do. And for that reason, they are able to be formed and be more responsive when they even have bigger responsibilities to take care of. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, and I'll just give you an opportunity to give us your parting shot. Just talking to a young person that is watching us tonight, someone probably that has a negative attitude as far as climate change or solutions to climate change is concerned. You can just look at that camera and speak to that young person.
Yes, and right now I am speaking to you, young person who is at home, wherever you are. You are the one we are looking at in terms of the opportunities that you have, in terms of the creativity that is there, and you have the solution that we are looking for. Take your time to be aligned with the right ideas, with the good environment that is here, and work towards really creating the change that you want to see, that you want to experience in your way of living. We can't do it with anyone else but you. So unless you get involved, you may not have opportunity to contribute, you may not have opportunities to be the change that we want to see today and tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, so the youth should be the change that, of course, we want to see. Thank you so much, Emily, for that, and thank you for sharing, of course, with our audience, educating us and informing us, of course, of how the young people can be looped in the fight against climate change.
Yes, so they just need to go to our website at www.kcdf.or.ke and be able to follow what we are doing, follow our Twitter, follow our Instagram and our Facebook. We are sharing a lot of information and we are looking at this as a platform for you and us to be able to do more.
So on these other social media platforms, it's still the same name?
Yes, it's still KCDF. Yes, so.
All right. All right, thank you so much for that, and that's where we end our conversation on ECO's Diary tonight. Of course, that was Emily Omudho from Kenya Community Development Foundation, just sharing on how young people can help in the fight against climate change. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've learned one or two things as far as tonight's conversation is concerned. See you again next Tuesday as we continue providing solutions to environmental conservation and, of course, the crisis that is climate change. My name is Aida Muzatsi. See you again next Tuesday.